Man, going back to the early days of how we got into detailing, a lot of people probably don't know. About 20 years ago, 18 years ago, I was actually working for a chemical manufacturer.
So my detailing journey started, I think like a lot of people's, where you get a car and it's not the condition you expected, and you do your best to bring it to a level that you're happy with.
Here in the DMV area, there's a lot of used car lots, dealerships, auctions. So we actually would make products Monday through Wednesday. We made everything in-house. On Thursdays and Fridays were our big delivery days. So I learned how to drive one of those big box trucks. We would go around all the different dealerships. We would deliver stuff. We had a schedule. We had some mobile detailers who would come and pick up products directly from us. But that was kind of my big thing. Was I wasn't really big into detailing then. I kind of liked to keep my own car clean. But detailing on the weekends really got started from the chemical manufacturing side. On the weekends, we would use the products that we would make throughout the week. And then to make a little bit of extra money on the side, we would offer detail services on the weekends.
I was in high school, wasn't my first vehicle. The previous vehicles were just kind of your normal commuter cars. I didn't really care about them, so it wasn't that big of a deal, the condition those ones are in. But I finally got what high school, Bradley considered a pretty cool car, which was a 350Z. Your kind of typical hot boy car, but it was cool to me at the time. And kind of typical thing when you go to buy a new car or a used car, you get a little blindsided. It's just kind of like the whole experience sometimes turns you a little blind to the condition that the vehicle is actually in. The engine bay was a different color than the outside of the car. It had been fully repainted. There was overspray over the whole vehicle. And the biggest thing for me was it was white and it had orange specks all over it. And I'm like, what the heck is this stuff? So I really started to dig in online of what are these orange specks? Like, is it the paint that's going bad, or what is it? And that's when I got introduced to iron remover for the first time. And I get some, I believe it was Adams or Griot's iron remover. And then you start to see the bleeding. And I remember that car specifically was just full purple when I used that stuff, and then got into clay barring. And then eventually, polishing that car and doing I think it was Chemical Guy's Jet Seal or something that was out at the time that was all the rage. So I used that, probably lasted 2 weeks, but at the time that was a huge thing for me. It was wow, I took this car from the paint looking very meh to okay, this is an acceptable standard for a car that's been kind of shoddily repainted. So that kind of introduced me to the detailing journey. So it kind of eventually evolved from there to I went to college. I went to college in Orlando at UCF for finance, and in order to kind of get myself through college, I wasn't fortunate with major grants or anything like that, or free college. So it was really just me and my parents kind of brute force, kind of financially pushing myself through it. So I opened up a mobile detailing business out of the back of my truck. Eventually got into a trailer, pulled behind the truck. I had a little Ford Ranger at that time, and I was going around doing mobile detailing all around the Orlando area by myself. Sometimes had a buddy come with me if I had a lot of cars to do that day. And basically, I went to school, and anytime I wasn't in school, weekends, mornings before class, if I started at 2, I was out doing detailing. I remember specifically, I did a job the day before a final, and then literally on the way to my final, I had my trailer still hooked up to the back of the truck, and I was driving to campus with that setup, and my truck broke down on the way to a final. I was detailing the morning of. I had to call a friend. He came and picked me up and drove me to school, left the truck on the side of the highway. So it was a pretty crazy experience to kind of go through college while trying to run a business, and again eventually that ended up into going and working for a major company up in Ohio, doing very high line detailing services. And that's where I was introduced to, DJ at the time, who is also my partner here in Armour Detail Supply. Did that for a few years, and then eventually opened up my own shop called Naples Auto Armor down here in Naples, Florida, which is kind of the sister company to Armour Detail Supply. And now we do everything from paint protection film, ceramic coatings, detailing, window tint, and we get car shipped from all over, and we're well known in the area for doing the highest quality of work. So that's kind of my start to detailing and kind of the full journey, to now present day.
So what led us to get started with Armour Detail Supply?
Yeah, so going from just detailing to formulating kind of starting the idea of a product line and going that route wasn't like something I initially intended to do. And I believe same with DJ. We never set out and we're like, hey, this is our plan and we're gonna do this.
We wanted to kind of collaborate on products that we use in our business. And, we just hope that, you guys basically would like what we were using in our everyday business.
It really just kind of sparked out of, multiple different things. So the biggest thing that kind of Armour Detail Supply started out of was at my shop. We were putting on every single wheel coating on the market, and on almost all of them, on a daily driven car, I was seeing 6 to 12 months of durability out of a wheel coating. And I just wasn't happy with it because, you'd sell a customer a wheel coating expecting it to last 1 or 2 years. And then you see the car 8 months later and, it's just not doing what you had hoped. And it just kind of bums you out. So I was like, all right, maybe there's something out there. There's someone I can contact to make something for me to be able to use, is like make something better for me to be able to use, is really what it started out as. And obviously got in contact with a really, really smart and really awesome chemist in the middle of nowhere in Europe. And he was just kind of getting started himself. So it was kind of cool. We were both kind of working together and learning a lot to build this product. And we got it to a point after multiple years that I was really happy with. So that's when we started, we were like, hey, we have this coating. We should, we were using it. We tested it for years. I was getting better durability. We were putting, our product on 2 wheels and another product, on 2 wheels, putting it on customers' cars and seeing them back and seeing the 2 wheels that we put ours on was better than the other ones. So we eventually decided, this is something we could go to market with.
It was just simply that we wanted to have a business that was, a transparent business, a business with character. We wanted to kind of build that relationship with, with our customers. And that was just really important for us, was just, to kind of bring everything into one roof, collaborate with somebody who kind of, details in the same manner and kind of has the same level of expectation from what a product should and shouldn't do.
Went to Ohio and got into product testing there a little bit more. And then after got into product testing for a couple different brands, testing some of their new formulations and things like that and giving feedback. And that was cool for a while. It was super cool to see kind of the behind the scenes of how other brands are doing it and how it worked. But then you also see kind of the negative side of things where you see problems with a product and you know it could be better, but the brand doesn't listen to your feedback and just sends the product out anyways.
So we went down the rabbit hole of, can we make this possible? I mean, we both have, full-time businesses and families outside of Armour Detail Supply. So we weren't sure of the responsibility and the time dedicated towards this, but as, it grew very quickly and we just started realizing, what we kind of had in our hands, and we said, hey, let's just keep rolling with it. Let's keep building these relationships with these people. Let's keep being super transparent about our business and what we're doing. And we've been super thankful, to get to meet a lot of really cool people, to develop a really unique line of products and and we're always evolving.
So I took, kind of all of that experience and, worked with, our kind of young chemist over in Europe and really came up with some really cool products. And that's, kind of the story of why it started. And again, it wasn't ever a thing where we're like, we're going to build a brand, make a bunch of money and all this stuff. It was literally just, let's build some products that we can use in our shop that are better than anything on the market.
You guys have seen how quickly we've taken feedback and we've been able to make upgrades, new versions, as new chemicals become available. We're able to update stuff, whether it's a color, a fragrance, a new resin, whatever it may be. So we like to move extremely quick. That's our big thing. We're very transparent about what we do, the changes that we make. But I think that's one of the big things, that we wanted to do with Armour Detail Supply was, we wanted to come in and just, do things a little bit differently, kind of, take some good from some companies and, mimic what they were doing. But we kind of wanted to put our own, DJ and Bradley kind of touch on it, while still kind of keeping that small family vibe.
Anything you love and makes your job easier is a winner in the long run.
Man, going back to parts of 2021 and 2022, the conversations and writing ideas down on paper, and now kind of seeing it where we are.
I had known DJ for a while, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I knew he was a great trainer. Myself, I'm great at a lot of things, but teaching people stuff is not my strongest suit. I'm not the biggest people person. So I really wanted and needed someone that could carry the message of how to use the products and teach people the right way. So that's when I approached DJ and was like, hey, I've got this, product and, I'd love for you to be a part of it. We had known each other for, like I said, almost 7-8 years at that point. So, we got to talking and that was kind of the spark of Armour Detail Supply. Again, we were already so close that my business was called Naples Auto Armor, and then his was DMV Auto Armor, because he's in Virginia and the DMV area.
With us having full-time detail operations, we kind of knew what we liked, what we didn't like, and if we were to ever do a brand, what would we bring to the table? So honestly, it's kind of a collaboration of what I like and what I use, here in my detail business, what Bradley uses and likes in his detail business. We kind of put our heads together and just said, look, let's check off as many boxes as we can of things that we like to use, every day ourselves, and let's just kind of build a product line, going that route.
So it just came about and we're like, hey, we've got the Armour already. Let's just do, Armour Car Care, Armour Detail, something like that. And we just kind of came to the realization that, Armour Detail Supply was really, kind of fit what we were going for. So that's where kind of the brand and the idea of the brand started, was with that. And again, it kind of goes off the fact that we aren't just a product company that just, went to some, place and got some products and is just trying to build a brand around it.
I think that's the biggest thing people are going to take away from, ADS is just, you're not just buying a gallon of ceramic spray sealer or shampoo. You're buying something that's really good, but that you're buying it from people who genuinely care, people who have given, many years back to the industry, back to the community. So I think that really makes, not necessarily that makes us different than everybody else, because I think a lot of people have done a lot of really great things. Again, there's a lot of great options right now. But for us, that small family vibe, what we can give back to the industry, support the people that have supported us.
This stemmed from our detailing businesses, and that's the kind of the core of what we do is our Naples Auto Armor and DMV Auto Armor. We run and operate very high line, high level detailing shops. We're able to test these products, we're able to prove them, we're able to test against other products, and we're able to use them day in and day out to really find out what works and what doesn't. and then also translate that over to our customers of Armour Detail Supply, to give them the best support, because a lot of times you'll go to other companies and maybe you have an issue with the product, and you're going to get someone that's a customer service representative and not really someone that details day in and day out, that's able to really dig in and find your problem and help you out.
Where do we see Armour going in the next few years? Man, that's hard to say. I mean, as much as we try to project our growth, our distribution channel, and where we're going, I mean, we're always wrong. I mean, that's a great problem to have as a small company. We're going to continue to pump out, quality products. Obviously offer a ton of support on the back end. Great packaging. We want to be super transparent with all of our customers. That's a big thing. For me, as a part of my main focus is handling the sales. Our installers, the distribution network. For me, I want to keep on our current projection, keep on going, but I want to make sure that no matter the size that ADS becomes, we still treat people the same way that we've been able to. As you grow, some things you might miss out on some of those more direct relationships, and those late night phone calls that you were once able to do when we were a lot smaller. But I never want to get to the point where if somebody has an issue with any of our products, or a mistake on our end, whatever it may be, I don't want to ever get to the point where, we have the vibe of, oh, we're just another customer. Whether it was 2 years ago, this year, 5 years from now, in a perfect world, if something happens, I love picking up the phone. You can ask Bradley, I chat with him all the time, but I love being able to pick up the phone, call the customer, and just, offer a solution.
So the next few years and really decades of Armour Detail Supply, again, our biggest focus is sticking to what we founded the company on, which is obviously great products, detailers first, things of that nature, but really focusing on just helping people. Again, whether that involves our products or not, obviously we would love that. We think our products are great, but our focus is really supporting the detailing industry, whether that's through awesome products, whether that's through education about just detailing in general, eventually business information. DJ and myself have a lot of information, not only about products and about detailing itself, but also about running a detailing business. And if that information can help at least one person start and run a successful business, I think it's important to share. So that's kind of our core focus going forward, is really just supporting the detailing community as a whole in making great products that make your job easier, make your customers' vehicles look better and perform better, providing a level of education that, in a clear, concise way, and then, supporting that with, how to set up your own detailing business and, eventually be able to take care of your family with that business is kind of our core focus moving forward in the next few years. And we really don't want to kind of waver against that. As we, obviously we've grown, it's not just DJ and myself anymore. And a lot of companies, start to just hire people outside of the industry. And, you'll get people that work for a company that have never detailed a car before. And that's not what we're looking to do. So we've added multiple people to the team. Devin here, sitting behind the camera, it was a detailer. He's now a videographer. But I think that kind of separates us in the fact that, number one, he knows the industry, so he knows how to shoot the industry, and he knows how to tell a story of detailing to be able to, get a point across clearly and in a super efficient manner when we're doing these, kind of educational videos. And then again, adding, we've added Jeff, who is a major part of Armour Detail Supply. In addition to DJ and myself, Jeff's been a detailer for many years, has worked for many different detailing, companies as well as retailers in the business, and brings a lot of experience and that sort of thing to the company. So we're really branching out with people that are just as experienced, if not more experienced than DJ and myself, so that we never really lose sight of that vision of, we are a company that is here to help the detailing industry. And we have people that are able to answer those questions and are able to make these videos that benefit and do good for the industry, basically. So I talked about myself, and knowing DJ, I wasn't there when they filmed his talking portion, but knowing DJ being the extremely humble guy that he is, I know he probably didn't tell his full truth or full story. He probably said something along the lines that, yeah, I've got a lot of detailing experience, and I'm able to transfer that to helping, our customers of Armour Detail Supply. But the truth is DJ is what a lot of people, and what I would consider like a true OG of the detailing industry. So back in the days that I would call like the foundation days of detailing, the days before detailing was popular, before people were making videos about detailing, before a lot of people even knew what paint correction was or ceramic coating was, DJ was kind of at the forefront of that, helping manufacturers of polishers, refine their machines. He was, back in like the golden days of detailing, traveling all over the US all the time, detailing collections of cars, Ferrari collections. That man has probably detailed more Ferraris than most people can, have seen in their lifetime. And not to just a detail like a wash, like 40 hours of detailing per car back in the day. Multiple stages of compounding and polishing, making sure every square inch is polished to perfection, the diffuser under the rocker panel, the inside lip of the, behind the rear view mirror, like the absolute perfection of detailing back before it was cool, and back before you were even able to charge what you were worth back then. So that experience with detailing those kind of highline cars to a crazy level, and really being at the forefront of detailing and kind of seeing it grow from, what you would just be doing a car wash to now the norm is a paint correction and ceramic coatings. Him kind of seeing that evolution of technology with polishers, being, one of the first people applying OptiCoat back whenever it came out in like 2010 or something, or 2008 or whatever. Whenever OptiCoat came out, he was one of the first people to start using that stuff and really at the forefront of technology. And then that translates into training hundreds of people from all around the world on that process and his experience, and really sharing that with people. And I know people that have been trained by DJ at the start of their detailing journey, people that I'm still friends with to this day, that are now running extremely large and extremely professional detailing operations, with that kind of training at the forefront of the business. So it's, I wanted to sit down and talk, and I just know that DJ probably didn't share this, and he's too humble to share it, but he has been around detailing before detailing was cool, and has just a tremendous amount of information and experience that hopefully one day we're able to share properly through these videos. But I think that also helps, set us apart in the fact that, we don't just have experience with the chemical side of things, or the detailing side of things. DJ himself has experience seeing the detailing industry literally transform over time and being the first of many different things that has literally helped the detailing industry evolve to what it is today. And I think that's just a huge accomplishment on his part. And I'm extremely grateful to have him as a partner in this business, because we wouldn't be where we are today. And I don't think Armour Detail Supply could be what Armour Detail Supply is without him being a part of it. And that experience and that just kind of generosity to the industry is huge for us.